Hello everyone and welcome back to the Retro Recall. I hope you're doing awesome. Today we have the MDG Prism Desktop PC back on the bench. Well, I say back on the bench, it never really left the bench. To be honest with you, I love the look of the system and I love the design quality that I wanted to feature it in another Retro Recall video. This particular computer was, well, e-waste, and it was part of the donation from Carl, a bigger donation, and I featured this system along with its sister system already on the channel. If you haven't checked out the video, please do so right there. Now, this particular computer is an Intel Core 2 Duo running 2.66 gigahertz with 8 gigabytes of memory. It did not have a hard disk installed. We went ahead and did that on the video, or I did that during cutscenes to basically test out to make sure the system would function, and it had no problem functioning with that hard disk. You know, one of the things that I look at when it comes to these computers, and definitely comments that I read down below, is these computers are tossed to e-waste. They're end of life. They're not working anymore. They're not being used. And you know what? I think it's a shame because these computers can really still be used in today's internet. And just because it can't run Windows well or because of things like that, there's distributions of Linux out there that can definitely help this computer out. So you know what? Today we should install another distribution of Linux on this system and see if we can bring this to today's internet. We have lots to do. Let's get right to it. Based on comments I've been reading, we should really install a version of Linux, a distribution of Linux, a flavor of Linux, if you will, on this computer and really see what, it's like and see how the system will operate on today's internet. Well, to be honest with you, I've already done a couple of installations of Linux on the channel. I did one right there. It's Linux Mint, and I did DSL Linux as well. And, a lot of people were enjoying those videos, a lot of great comments. Remember, I'm a novice user of Linux. I am entry level. I don't have a lot of experience with Linux. My only experience was Ubuntu 5.04. This is my original copy. I actually did a video on this as well, and I really loved it. I enjoyed using it, but for whatever reason, it never ended up sticking with me. So instead of installing a distribution of Linux I've already installed, it's been recommended to me that I try Fedora Workstation. So I'd like to do that today on this particular computer. Now, just a little bit of a heads up, I did already try. I have about 35 minutes of footage of trying to install Ubuntu 24.04 on this computer. And for whatever reason, after the installation was complete, it would not boot automatically. It just would not see the partition tables for whatever reason. I don't know if it was the UEFI configurations. I went in there and changed all that. I did a bunch of configuration changes within the setup of how Ubuntu was installed. I manually went in through the help of Majenko Technologies. Thank you so much, Majenko. Went in through that and did a bunch of terminal stuff and for whatever reason couldn't get Ubuntu working. I'm really hoping and hopeful that Fedora will work on this. So we're going to do all this together. First thing we're going to do, though, is install this SSD because, again, if you were getting one of these computers, you would get it as is. Maybe not have as much memory in it, maybe in worse condition, but you'd look at potentially upgrading it to the maximum that you could potentially upgrade this to see if you can try to get more life out of it. Now, this already has 8 gigabytes of memory, as I mentioned, so I'm going to throw an SSD in here. This is a 960 gigabyte drive. Yeah, 960 gigabyte SSD we're going to install. Pretty straightforward. Now, I've been told that the CPU can also be updated. I'm not going to do that in this system. I'm going to utilize the CPU, and I feel like we're going to get our performance boost from the SSD and, of course, the 8 gigabytes of memory. All right, let's get this all turned around and get ready to install the SSD. Okay, here we are back, different camera view just so everyone can see us installing this. Now, if you saw the other video, you've already seen the inside of the system. You already know how it all comes apart because I did all that in that video. But one of the things, like I said, I love about this design is there's so much room in here for a desktop-based smaller form factor system in terms of the height. Like I said, this system requires a low profile cards to be able to add extensions or expansion cards to this system. The depth is so nice where you have all the drives and everything up front, but then you have full access to the motherboard. I just love this design. So to access the where the SSD is going to go, we're going to take off the front bezel. Again, fairly straightforward. There's not much to this. Now there's two screws here that I've already removed that are in the front that allows you to open this up. So we're going to do that. And as you can see, we have the hard drive caddy that we had the platter drive already installed, 3.5-inch drive. I just took that out earlier because like I said, I've gone through some of this. And then over here, we do have where the SSD is going to go. I love this toolless design as well. I know I mentioned that before, but again, it's nice having. So you just pull those little tabs and boom, the caddy comes out. And again, getting a system from e-waste or getting a system donated to the channel that was destined for e-waste, it's nice still having these intact and put back. Let's pop this in here. Fairly straightforward. Just pop it in those little mounts, little pegs. They go in where the screws would go. And that's the beauty of the toolless design. Just pop that on. Again, really straightforward, and you're done. And then what you're going to do now is just those little sliders that this slides down inside, little grooves. So there's four little grooves there. We're just going to pop that in, nice and easy, and that's it. Literally, it snaps right in naturally with the snaps, and boom, it's in there. Your SSD is installed. That's how easy it is. So for our power, we're going to put that in, nice and steady. There we go. And the same thing with our SATA data cable. Pop that in, and boom. Literally, that's how easy it is to get this up and running, and so easy to work on this computer. Okay, let's close this down and get everything put back together and get the bench all set up with, well, let's go through our installation of Fedora. And welcome back. We have the keyboard, mouse, monitor, everything set up. You know the drill. We do this quite often on the channel. Everything's ready to go. But before we start the installation, I want to mention two things because I do read every comment. I do respond to every comment. One of the things that one of the viewers has stated was, you know, an MDG computer, an HP monitor, and a Dell keyboard. And at the time I had an IBM mouse in that last video. And I roared because they called it out on me and they said that's retro heaven. I forget the exact comment, but it was really funny. And, you know, kudos to you. At least at the end of the day, you made me laugh. And I at least strive to have a Dell keyboard and mouse now. And the other thing, I had this particular system in that video on its edge because I did it for filming reasons, completely honest with you. I talked about having it set vertically for ventilation, and I was literally covering one of the vents, possibly two of the vents. I am laying it flat, and I replaced one of my peripherals with the same brand name. All right, let's get into the installation of Fedora. We're going to go into the BIOS real quickly just to make sure everything is set up correctly for the installation. Just want to make sure that the USB, boot from USB is activated, as well as UEFI and all that stuff. Okay, let's go into our advanced under our drive configuration. So we do have AHCI set up for configure SATA, and we do have our Kingston 960 gigabyte drive. I just want to be absolutely sure it was detecting that. And we'll go over to boot for a moment. So under our boot, we have our CD-ROM, floppy, hard disk. Our Kingston drive is set up there, no problem. And it is showing our USB drive there as well. And we do have USB boot enabled. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, so on the screen we have Grub version 2.06, start Fedora, test this media and start Fedora Workstation Live, or troubleshooting. We're going to start Fedora Workstation Live 40. Okay, here we are to the live environment. It says, welcome to Fedora. This live media can be used to install Fedora or as a temporary system. Installation can be started at any time using the install icon in activities. That's what I really like about Linux generally is the live environments, to be quite honest with you, being able to pop a USB stick, throw in a Linux distribution in here, and you can actually use the system. All right, I'm going to click on Install Fedora. That's going to be our goal. It's running fairly quickly. Like I said, this is a Core 2 Duo 2.66 gigahertz with 8 gigabytes of memory. That SSD is no slouch either, so it's nice to have that versus, say, running, spinning Rust as we call it. Now, I'm a huge fan of spinning Rust, but to be honest, for this particular installation, I'm doing what an end user generally would do. They wouldn't be using this. They'd be using an SSD to upgrade the system to be able to continue using it in a practical manner. Okay, so we're going to choose English, and our English United States is fine. I don't see, I see Canada there, but that's fine. Okay, let's, under localization, we have keyboard is English US, and that's fine. Time and date, America's Toronto time zone. We're going to leave it on that for now. Under system, it says automatic partitioning is selected, but it looks like there's an error. We're going to click on that and find out what's going on. Okay, so it says installation destination, Fedora 40 installation. So we have device selection. Select the devices you'd like to install to. They will be left untouched until you click on the main menu's begin installation button. All right, so there's our drive. We're going to select it. There we go. Selected, and let's see. Okay, it says your current Fedora software selection requires, well, approximately 6 gigabytes. Available space, including 6 gig for software and 0 bytes for swap space. The disks you've selected have the following amounts of free space: 1.3 meg of free space available for use and another 534 megabytes. So either way, not enough. You don't have enough space available to install Fedora. You can shrink or remove partitions via our guided reclaim space tool, or you can adjust your partitions on your own. I'm just going to click on reclaim space, and we're going to click on delete all and reclaim space. And there we go. So we have it all ready to go. Installation destination, automatic partitioning selected. Perfect. No errors this time. All right. I imagine we'll click on begin installation. And here we are. So it says configuring storage, and now it's creating their partitions, and we'll start to install the operating system. One thing I'm noticing with this is that generally during the installations of Ubuntu, even this as old as this version 5.04, and the Linux Mint version specifically, as well as the DSL Linux, is it would give me, like, windows were popping up here saying, hey, this is what's features part of the operating system. And, you know, this is what you're come to expect. Similar like that Windows installation type thing. I'm noticing that that's not present for this. Okay, so we're just going to let it do like a little montage here while it installs, and then we'll be right back when it's all completed. Okay, here we are, and it's saying the installation is complete. Fedora is now successfully installed and ready for you to use. Go ahead and reboot your system to start using it. So I'll click on Finish Installation. So I'm just going to restart from here then, and then what we'll do is take a look at everything as we go. Okay, let's go to Restart. And this will automatically restart the computer in 60 seconds. It's fine. Click on Restart. And I think it's good to remove the USB stick. Still accessing it right now. Okay, yeah. All right, I'm going to remove the USB stick and hope this time that actually boots to the operating system instead of, well, just not detecting the hard disk. Let's see. So far, so good. It looks like we're booting to Fedora, and I don't have the thumb drive installed anymore this time, so it's booting it off the hard disk. Let's continue on and see if we get to an operating system. Okay, we're at this pretty cool looking screen. It's looks like a unboxing. So welcome to Fedora Linux 40. Setup will guide you through making the account or an account and enabling some features. We'll have you up and running in no time. Start setup. All right, very welcoming so far. Okay, under privacy, we have location services. Allows apps to determine your geographical location. Uses the Mozilla location services and gives our privacy policy here. So leave that turned on. Automatic problem reporting. It says sends technical reports that do not contain personal information. Data is collected by Fedora Linux. So that's turned on. Privacy controls can be changed at any time from the settings app. No problem. Thank you so much, Fedora. Privacy. Okay, next, we have third-party repositories. Third-party repositories provide access to additional software from selected external sources, including popular apps, drivers that are important for some devices. Some proprietary software is also included. So yeah, you know what? Let's enable that. We're going to enable those third-party repositories. We'll hit next. About you, we need a few details to complete setup. Full name is going to be the Retro Recall. And it's automatically going to make that my username as well by the looks of things. Okay, we'll hit next. And then a password. Be careful not to lose your password. Mix uppercase and lowercase and try to use a number or two. Well, I'm going to make a super secure password called password. What do you mean the password's weak? What do you mean to avoid common words? All right, make sure that that's correct. We're good. Hit next. And all done. Fedora Linux is now ready to be used. We hope that you love it. Start using Fedora Linux. Well, that was pretty easy to set up, to be honest. All right, let's see what comes up on the desktop. My mouse is frozen. Okay, well, it's still going. Welcome to Fedora Linux 40 Workstation Edition. If you want to learn your way around, check out the tour. You know what? Let's check that tour and see what it's about. Okay, so it says start the tour. Learn about the key features in Fedora Linux 40 Workstation Edition. Get an overview, press the super key to see open windows and apps. Just type to search, type in the overview to search, launch apps and find things. Keep on top with workspaces. Easily organize windows with the workspaces view. All right. And up, down for the overview. On a touchpad, use 3-finger vertical swipes and try it. Well, I don't have a touchpad, I just have the keyboard. And left and right for workspaces. So on a touchpad, use a 3-finger horizontal swipes, and it's asked me to try it again. Well, I don't have that. And that's it. Have a nice day. All right. To get more advice and tips, see the help app. Well, all right. Thanks for the tour, I guess. Okay, we'll hit X on that. And here we are. Now, do we have any sort of like icons or anything? Oh, all right. What's that? Okay. Is this like a workspace? Can I go over here? Oh, okay. That's exactly what it is. It's a workspace. But I'm just curious why, or I'm just wondering if there's a way to dock this somehow. It says unpin. Oh, that's for that particular item. Okay, I'm literally, this is all new to me, so I'm just trying to figure out, I'm just wondering, if there's a way to keep this on my desktop while keeping those icons there, for example. But if this is just a workspace, maybe it's designed for me to always have to go up there and click on that to go to apps. So it looks like we have a couple desktops going on. So along the top, we have this button here that's telling me to go back and forth between different desktops. As you can see, I can click between them. And that's what's telling me to use for those gestures, so left and right, 3 fingers on the touchpad. And along the bottom, it has what looks like some sort of dock, similar to like an Apple product. So I see Firefox, Calendar, Files, Software, Text Editor, and Show Apps. We clicked on the Show Apps a moment. Before I do that, though, I want to go on the top. On top, it says type to search. So I wonder if, so even the type of search is not there. I wonder if there's a way to change the arrangement here. If I click on settings, maybe under displays, it's orientation, maybe appearance. I was wondering if there's a way to set it so that I can always have the search going, or the like kind of that dock I was referring to earlier. It gives me the ability to change the background, so that's something. All right, we're gonna get into that in a moment. Okay, I'm just curious. So if you know in the comments, please let me down below if I don't already discover through this process. And over here we have our network connection. It shows wired, which is correct. Power mode is balanced. It's fine. Nightlight. Oh, that's neat. Okay, so it must be just just easier on the eyes, I guess. And dark style. Oh, okay, so it just changes the desktop to like dark mode essentially. Okay, all right. And then we have our volume control by looks of things. We have, I don't know what this is. I don't know if that's like a screenshot or it takes a snap. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's like a snippet tool. All right, cool. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're learning everything as we go. It looks, we were in here earlier, that the cog wheel looks like a settings wheel, so we're gonna leave that alone for now. We have a lock button, which I imagine locks the computer system. Yep, it did that. Did it go to sleep? Nope. Okay, the retro recall. Perfect. Enter my super secure password. Okay, we're in. Volume, which we know, and the power. Okay, so it just brings this kind of like menu down here, and then you can select what you need to do. And of course, you hit the power button. We had the option earlier to turn off the system, restart it, all those things. Okay, so now, like I said, I'm at my desktop, but I just don't know what to do. I expected, I got to find a way to dock that somehow and bring that up. And, is it that easy? Just drag things there? No, it just opens it in the desktop. All right. Well, that's a new thing I just learned. Okay, under show apps, we're going to go over through the apps. So we have a search button so we can type in, different things to allow to open something. So if I type in Firefox, so I open Firefox, I have the option to open up the application if I want. Okay, so we have camera, contacts, weather, clocks, maps, Fedora Media Writer. So I imagine that's like there's an application to burn media, like to CD. It's interesting. I'm not seeing anything here. I don't know if there's an issue with the graphics. No, I'm not changing anything. It doesn't make a difference. So you see here, it shows some bullet points, but I'm not seeing any text that's there, which is quite confusing. And the same thing down here. I must have a cancel. Yeah, I don't know. It looks like that's not working properly for some reason. Okay, so we have LibreOffice Calc. We have videos. So this is just a video player of some sort. We have videos. We have channels. What's this? Let's go most popular. Let's go cinema. Oh, oops, we're sorry. It looks like the problem occurred in the component. The problem has been automatically reported. All right, well, we're not doing too well here, Fedora. So Totem quit unexpectedly. The application encountered a problem and could not continue. So obviously there was an application crash right in front of us. Well, that's not helpful so far. Let's go back into the videos. I'm a sucker for punishment, I guess. Apple movie trailers, maybe. I gotta be careful here for copyright, so I won't be showing too much here. Let's see what loads. It says videos is not responding. You may choose to wait a short while for it to continue to force the app to quit entirely. I don't know what it's waiting for, to be honest with you. I don't know if I need to have a subscription of some sort, but we'll leave that for now, I suppose. Okay, so we have camera. Something's got to work here. Let's turn on the camera for a moment. No camera found, of course. I'm batting 1,000. Let's go back to apps. Let's go to weather. Weather's got to work. Everyone talks about the weather. Okay, search for a city or country. Let's go to London, England. Oh, I can't spell London for the life of me. Okay, London, United Kingdom. There we are. Let's find out what the weather is there. All right, we have 39 degrees. So obviously it's using Fahrenheit for the measurement. I'm a Celsius person, but I imagine you can go in and change all. Oh, here we go. Just like that. So 4 degrees Celsius currently in London, but again, Fahrenheit's 39. And then it shows our weather throughout the day tomorrow. So that's pretty cool. I heard they don't get a lot of sun. So tomorrow, guys, you're getting suns. There you go. LibreOffice Impress document scanner. So is this just as easy as searching for scanners? Okay, so it's really cool that it includes these apps as part of the operating system. So here are all the applications. I really like the fact that it's that simple. It's similar to Windows, right? It sees all your Windows processes. What are our resources looking at? So here we are. So we are running Fedora 40 Workstation. We are running on a Core 2 Duo system that is from 2007, we determined. It's humming along. The CPU is barely operating, working. I mean, we're not doing a lot of work to it right now, but the memory's humming along, no problem. We have our network connected without an issue, and our hard disk is flying along. I mean, nothing is being drained at all. And I like that fact that it's staying kind of running in the desktop environment a little bit. Okay, again, guys, you're probably all laughing at me because I'm new to this, but here we are. So I like that it shows that. File systems, we have our file systems. So it shows just what space is used essentially and what's being utilized in the computer so far. We have loads of space available, obviously, with that terabyte drive. Okay, let's go back and look at our system again. So that was under our system monitor. What's boxes? Welcome to Boxes. Boxes makes it easy to install and run virtual machines. Oh, that's pretty cool. Express installation. With Express installation, Boxes will set the install options for a new virtual machine. Just start the installation and everything will be taken care of for you. So similar to VMware or DOSBox and things like that. So you'll be able to open up and run different operating systems within here. I think that's pretty cool. Easy downloads with Boxes. You don't need to download an operating system to create a virtual machine. Instead, just pick an operating system you want to set up and Boxes will automatically download it for you. Drag and drop sharing files as simple as dragging them onto your virtual machine. They will appear in your downloads folder. Oh, I like this. Use the plus button to create your first virtual machine. Install from file or download OS. All right, so you can either have an ISO or download the OS. It will go get it for you. All right, that's pretty darn cool. I like that. All right, let's go back in here for a moment. And we have Terminal, which of course I was playing around with a little bit with Majenko. He was teaching me how to use some commands in here when we were trying to troubleshoot the Ubuntu fiasco before this video. So yeah, I won't go in there now because I don't know enough about it yet, but definitely something I need to learn. Under utilities, we have disk usage analyzer, connections, disks, document viewer, image viewer, characters, problem reporting, logs, and fonts. All right, we're going to close that for now, but nice to be able to access that stuff. We have LibreOffice Writer. We have our help that it referenced earlier. Rhythm Box. Is that just an audio player? Yeah, here we go. Okay, it's just an audio player. So I had music here. We could play. Do we have, okay, you have to log in to be able to play online music. Any podcasts? Nothing. Music? Nothing. So there's nothing right now. I just figured it would have some sample music or something, but it doesn't have anything. And then, of course, our tour, as we saw earlier. All right, and click on, we're going to go into the settings for a moment here because I want to see what we have in terms of settings for this system. So we are currently connected at a gigabit connection because that's a limit of the actual hardwire connection I have here. VPN not set up, and proxy is currently turned off. Bluetooth not found, so obviously we don't have a Bluetooth hardware in this system. It's good to know it supports it if we needed to. Under displays, we have orientations landscape 1280 by 1024, which is working just fine for now. 60 hertz, and night light is currently turned off. Power is currently balanced. I mean, it's a desktop PC. I don't really do the, it's only for the sake of the video right now, so I don't have a lot of power saving stuff I need to worry about. Appearance, we know we can go in and change the different wallpapers, and it shows, yeah, so it shows what it's looked like under default mode and versus dark mode. So you can see that for all the different wallpapers. It's pretty cool. Under our apps, so our default apps, and then, of course, we can go in and select those default apps. For web, currently it's Firefox, Calendar's Calendar, etc., just like file types in Windows. Online accounts, so if I need to sign into all my online accounts. Apple was very similar to this, I believe. On one of the iOSs that I had, is that it had a similar area that I could put all my accounts into one area, and then I can use the system and have me all logged in, but I can also come in here and manage those accounts. So I think that's pretty nice to see. Under sharing, file sharing, share with others on the network. It's currently all turned off. And media sharing, stream music from this system through the network to another computer, or vice versa, I would imagine. Okay, that is pretty cool. So, I mean, for the sake of the system, I mean, it's fairly basic. I just wanted to get an idea, as an end user coming from Windows, would I adopt this? And so far, Linux Mint was my favorite, even after seeing Fedora. So anybody who uses Fedora, let me know down in the comments about your experience with this, and let me know what you think, basically what your experience is like. I'm really curious. Now, like I said, I've said it 100 times. I don't need to say it again, but that's my only pet peeve about this, is that I have to make that extra conscious decision to go up there to be able to access my apps, to do searches, to be able to access the dock, because I imagine I can probably pin. Okay, so it's calling it a dash. Okay, well, I want my dash to be in this environment, right? I want my dash, not dock, dash on here. And so please let me know in the comments how easy it is to fix this, and I can't see. One of the things we were going to talk about was being able to use this computer, which would have been sent to e-waste, because at the end of the day, being 17 years old, it's end of life. We're not using this computer anymore. Why not, right? And here we are. Here's a perfect example. We have an operating system that is basically installed, running today's internet, no problem. This is today's YouTube. I have it installed. I am directly connected to my network here. And yeah, it just comes up and says, try searching what you want to search for. So we'll type in the retro recall and see how quickly this loads. Yeah, no problem, right? I mean, it's coming right up, and the computer is very, very usable. And with 8 gigabytes of memory and, a Core 2 Duo, like, to me, that was a sweet spot in systems, is that Core 2 Duo processor, that you can still do a lot of these things today. I mean, yeah, 2 Core 2 quads, and of course, i3s, and going on from there. Going to a Core 2 Duo CPU is still strong enough to bring these old systems back to life. Specifically, if you're running a distribution of Linux like this, you can still continue to use the system, no problem, and save these guys from going into the junk pile. So yeah, I think that's it for the orientation for now. Like I said, I'm just using it as an end user. I thought I'd share my experience on the video like I do with my other Linux videos that I've done. I wanted to bring this guy, this MDG system, back to life, and basically show what can be used. And I feel like this can still be used today, no problem. And I was looking forward to this. So just about finding the right Linux distribution for me. All right, let's go to our outro. And here we are at the end of the video with our MDG Prism Desktop PC that's 17 years old, sent to e-waste, time to recycle, brought back to life on today's internet using Fedora Workstation 40 or Fedora 40 Workstation. And you know what? It's not a terrible operating system. I didn't mind using it. I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, there's some nuances and stuff I have to learn. Obviously, not all the applications are installed. That's one of the nice things about Linux is I'm learning is the open distributions, the open source software to be able to go on, do a pile of searches to see if you can find a whole bunch of different software to meet your needs. Like for example, just before I started the outro, I typed in games and it gave me a whole bunch of different areas I can go download games from and install on the computer. And of course, you know, I imagine this would work well with Steam and things like that. I hope, you know, let me know in the comments as well. I didn't see any reference to it. Having a 17-year-old computer, Core 2 Duo, 2.66 gigahertz with 8 gigabytes of memory, and that terabyte or 960 gigabyte SSD, it's making a world difference in terms of the performance. The computer's humming along just nicely. And I'm not 100% sold on the operating system. I mean, yeah, it seems really user-friendly. I just feel there's some limitations, and I honestly feel that dash should be up there. I know I mentioned that, you know, 37 times in the video, but you know, again, I just feel it should be really easy to move it up and do that. Maybe it's just not designed to do that. I'm not sure, but I know there's a much more to Linux than just, you know, using the graphical user interface, that I can actually go in, use a terminal and different applications around that and really learn how to access a lot of that. But, you know, this is a good alternative to Windows. If you're not happy with the Windows, you know, start branching out into Linux distributions. I know I am starting to do that. I'm having fun doing it. It's like a new experience every time. And there's so many distributions out there to try. So at the end of the day, I had fun doing this. This is something, again, I'm really happy to show everybody on the channel, everybody out there that has an old computer, you know, before you throw it away, before you toss it, think about, can you give that computer a second chance? That said, if you liked today's video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. We just hit 13,000 subscribers, so thank you so much. If you're watching this now and you're not subscribed, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It really makes a huge difference, helps this channel grow, and tells YouTube you like what you're seeing. Hit the notification button, change it to all. You'll be notified of new content such as this. Please leave a comment down below. What's your experience with Fedora? Do you prefer another Linux distribution? Please let me know down in the comments. I love all the interaction. I love responding to absolutely every comment. Always making new content. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.